Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Wednesday, June 11th, 2025. Let's start off with this. We have a lot to cover, so just bear with me here. The CPI report came out this morning, the Consumer Price Index, and this is a farce of the highest order. And there's a reason behind it. Have a look at this headline. So inflation still not showing tariff-related spikes. CPI shows muted prices, open path for Fed rate cuts. That's the key. This data here, along with all of it, is fake. It's being set up for one reason and one reason only, to allow the Fed to cut rates. Currency devaluation, all the stuff you and I have been speaking about since time immemorial. And it just disgusts me. It really, really does. Let's talk about a couple of other things here. So yesterday concluded 2 days of trade talks between the United States and China. Yesterday was a joke, and they think the joke is on I, but it's certainly not. The joke is on them. But it gets even worse. It gets even worse, and we're going to talk about this in just a second. Let's move forward here. So I wrote, really try not to laugh. U.S.-China reached consensus on framework for trade deal after 2 days of talks in London. Okay, let's break this down here. Why this headline is 100% freaking fake and it's propaganda. Framework, this is a weasel word. That's exactly what I wrote here. It means absolutely nothing concrete. No signed deal, no enforceable terms, no change in tariffs or restriction. Now, consensus, another propaganda word, does not mean agreement. It means they agreed to talk again, used to create the illusion of some kind of progress. Now, timing. The timing. 2 days of talks in London. Oh, really? We got so much done here. Staged for media optics. This is not how real trade deals are structured. You don't hammer out a deal in 2 days between the United States and China. And by their own words, there's no deal. There is no deal. A framework has been created, potentially, a consensus that they're going to talk more. Purpose of this whole thing to create the illusion that the United States and China tensions are under control, which they're not. In reality, there's no deal whatsoever. No deal is coming either, in case you had some kind of different delusion. Both sides are positioning for global decoupling, not integration here. This headline here is pure manipulation of a psyop on a grand scale, and you can't make this stuff up. Now, it gets even better, because President Trump himself this morning is touting this as a deal. Make that up, President. I'm not putting the man down. Look this up for yourself. He's saying that this headline here, a consensus for a framework, means that there is a deal. People, nobody out here, I don't care how low your IQ may be, believes that a consensus, a framework is a deal. There's nothing signed. There's nothing here. Zero. You can't make that up. Anyway, look, let's move forward. Let's talk about the market. The Dixie, the relative strength is lower of the dollar. Lovely. U.S. 10-year yield down just slightly. Okay, we're still in a bad spot if you ask me. Stock futures are higher. They will lower prior to President Trump coming out and saying, we have a deal with China. There's no deal. None. You can't make it up. That did put a little bump behind futures here. It's market management via, using a mouthpiece or a pie hole. Gold, silver, not really doing, well, gold is up 1%, silver down fractionally, crude oil up slightly. Bitcoin, crypto's doing pretty well, lovely and fantastic. Okay, this is what I really want to talk about here. Yesterday, we heard from PIMCO, one of the largest investment firms on the planet. Okay, you think maybe they got an inside scoop into a few things here? PIMCO is warning investors should position for a new global order. This is in your inbox right now, people. Look, if you have not yet, really, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to the newsletter. It's 100% free. This is in your inbox right now. I want to go through this with you, talk about what this actually means and where we are going. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? Let's move forward. So Lions, PIMCO. Investors should position for a new global order. Is this a warning, a promise, or something more? Lions, have a look at this headline. Now, this is from yesterday afternoon. All right. So stocks haven't been this expensive relative to bonds in almost 25 years. But this circled area, you probably can't read that. Let me read this to you. This is PIMCO. Investors should position for a new global order. That's what it says. That's their words, not mine and not yours. They say this. Let's start here with this. Stocks haven't been this expensive relative to bonds in almost 25 years. This is what PIMCO says. All right. PIMCO happens to be correct. Translation, stocks are priced in bubble valuations. Imagine our shock. Who saw this one? PE ratio stretch, growth slowing historically. When this relative valuation, stocks versus bonds here, gap gets this wide, it signals that approaching rotation or correction, or maybe something even worse. The last time the spread was this extreme, well, the dot-com bubble and the stock market collapsed. Now let's touch on this new global order right out of the mouth of freaking PIMCO. This is the most revealing phrase. This is what I wrote here. This is the most revealing phrase. PIMCO's outlook sparks this message. Don't fight the new order. This means that I must push back harder. Does that sound familiar? Let me explain this to you maybe if you don't know. This channel is under attack. Babylon is pushing back. Why? Because we're pushing and they're pushing back. That means that we have to push back harder. They are looking for surrender. And Lions, I wrote this. Let me show you this. We will never surrender. We will never surrender. PIMCO's new, now this is something I want you guys and girls to look up for yourself. PIMCO has a new secular outlook, and they're calling, their word is fragmentation. Fragmentation, not Greg Mannarino. This is their word. So let me read this. PIMCO's new secular outlook calls this a fragmentation era. What does that actually mean? Well, I'm going to explain this to you. And I wrote here, look this up for yourselves. In summary, PIMCO is talking about a shift away from post-Cold War economic model, the post-Cold War economic model, where economic shaped politics. Now it's the opposite. Politics is driving economics, reshaping trade, alliances, and of course, capital flows. Dollar hegemony is under strain. This is obviously happening right now. Everybody knows it. Rising multipolar currency and trade outside the dollar system. Here again, people, this is already happening. Now, on the markets, PIMCO expects a shift in capital flows globally, meaning move out of overpriced U.S. stocks. Now, I'm not saying you need to jump ship here, people. I promise to tell you when I believe that should happen, we're watching the debt market. Now, PIMCO is sending out a veiled message here, and let me expand on this. So on the markets, PIMCO expects a shift in capital flows globally, meaning move out of overpriced U.S. stocks potentially into defensive positioning like what? Like gold and silver, commodities, hard assets. Okay, makes sense to you? Of course it does. That is how I read this. This is what I wrote here. They are warning big clients, don't be the last out of the stock bubble. Okay. New global order. Expect geopolitical shifts. We're already seeing it, people. More control, less freedom, possibly a police state. California is the test bed right now. What PIMCO itself is doing, they are preparing for capital outflows as equities falter or even crash. Does that make sense to you? Why do you think, okay, I don't want to put any words into anybody's mouth. Why is it that PIMCO is warning on this global new world order positioning now? Okay, so what PIMCO is doing, they're preparing for capital outflows as equities fall to a crash. The bigger picture, Lions. As we have discussed repeatedly, liquidity is drying up and the global growth is cratering. So what's next? The Fed will cut rates. And that's what this whole thing is this morning. This fake CPI number, the Fed is setting themselves up. Oh, look, inflation isn't so bad. Actually, the CPI showed an increase in prices today. Oh, it's only a fractional increase, but an increase nonetheless. But what they're doing, it's a setup. It's a setup, just as I have discussed forever now. It's incredible what's going on. And anyone who can't see this clearly is willfully freaking blind. There's no other explanation. So what's next? The Fed will cut rates and accelerate currency devaluation. Out of the mouth of the President of the United States himself just a few days ago, he said the Fed should cut rates by a full percentage point. The Lions, stocks are not priced for any kind of reality. Can we agree on that? Okay. They are priced in fantasy, and commodities will be the beneficiaries as the fiat game gets exposed. I would also expect that Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are also going to benefit from this. Now, this is what I really want to focus on. The bigger New World Order paradigms. Lion, PIMCO is issuing a veiled warning to the smart money. They know stocks are at risk of a major repricing or a massive crash, and they are positioning to be on the right side of the next capital rotation. Now, Lions, for years, I have warned of a new set of rules and a new paradigm, my exact wording. Now, let's break this down. The shape of the New World Order. Now, look, feel free to disagree with me on this. Feel free to agree with me on this. I want to hear from you either way. So the shape of the New World Order. Fragmented. PIMCO's word, not mine. Controlled world, not one united world. They use the term New World Order. We've been hearing a lot of this wording, even from the mainstream media, okay? They're preparing people for what's coming. Now, as if this means some kind of a peaceful global unity. I got a little surprise for you. It doesn't mean that at all. It's controlled fragmentation. And I said, I am using fragmentation here because this is the exact wording of PIMCO. Yeah, that's what they're using. Lions, expect digital control systems to rise. Do you not see that happening right freaking now? Really? Honestly? Okay. Expect the global implementation of central bank digital currencies, digital ID, plus central bank digital currencies. This alone will enable several things. Programmable money, which can be spent only where allowed. That's 1. 2, trackable money, no privacy. 3, expiring money, cash. 4, spending or penalized savings. The system will sell this as a convenience and inclusion, but in reality, people, it's a control grid mechanism. Does that sound right to you? Of course it does, because you're smart. Now, what's the fallout? Is this where it stops? No freaking way is this where it stops. Now, suppression of free speech and thought. We're already seeing this. Governments will use AI, surveillance, and censorship laws to suppress dissenting voices. Yeah, how about this one? Just like ours. Only approved narratives. The system, fully screened by AI, will decide which truths are allowed. Think I'm maybe nailing this to the wall? Engineered crisis equal forced unity. People, come on, man. Engineered crisis equal forced unity. Leaders will leverage the coming debt collapse, financial instability. We need a new world government system. I can't read this backwards. A crisis or false flag will be used to justify expanded powers. Summary, are you ready for the summary? It's 3 things. You know what these 3 things are. Crisis, consent, control. Let's do this together. Crisis, consent, control. It's always the same. Can't make it up. Now, this is where some of you may disagree with me, but this is how I see it, and I never hold back. Moral and spiritual inversion. Expect false saviors, tech, global leaders will be exalted The goal, erode the inner strength of the individual so they can be molded. This is Babylonian inversion of all that is sacred. New global order, digital enslavement, controlled thought, artificial crisis, fragmented blocks. PIMCO's words, not Greg Mannarino, moral decay. Look, man. It is the world stage being prepared for the system of the beast. Thoughts? Comments? Yours truly. I want to hear from you people. Look, man, we're in this together, I and I. All right? This is our thing. I and I have built this channel to a global thing. And there are people all over this world right now listening to this, listening to I and I. This is not my words here, okay? This is our spirit directly from the source. Are we on the same page here? I hope so, because that's exactly what's going on here. This is a warning. And don't listen to Greg Mannarino anymore. Listen to PIMCO and their new world order. Listen to the narrative from the mainstream media, even the financial channels, a new global order, a new system. They're telling us. It's what they always do. And unless I and I push back, well, we lose. That's where you guys and girls come in. You got something out of this video? Well then, please share it. Get it out there. Give it a thumbs up if I've earned it. All this stuff is in your inbox right now if you subscribe to my newsletter. People, tell me what else I can do to make this more clear to people. This is stuff that I have been speaking about for over a freaking decade. You think we nailed it to the wall, or no, we're still a little, off. Come on, man. All right, look, love you guys with all I got. I'll see you later. And really ponder the things that we speak about here every day, people. And make up your own minds. I am not here to change your mind, anybody's thought. I want you guys and girls out here to think for yourselves. Make sense of what's going on, and then take action. With regard to the financial system, people, we couldn't be in a better spot, I and I here. We're betting against the system, becoming our own central banks. We're reconnecting with the source, number one. And then realizing that we are not each other's enemies here. We're watching a police state evolve here in California. You really think this is just about illegals over there? That's what it's really all about? Honestly, no. It's a test bed, man. Wake the freak up if you're still asleep. I just can't believe some are still asleep. And just watch. Watch for the reaction in this video. Read through the comments. You're going to see Babylon in your freaking face. Well, you know what? Babylon doesn't realize what it's facing here, this pride of lions, and our alliance with the source is freaking invincible. Does that make sense to I and I? Love you. See you later.